Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Can somebody just give me notification that you can hear me okay? All right, thank you, Mr. Fish. I want to welcome everyone and Happy New Year. This is our first coffee chat of the new year, so I hope everyone enjoyed their holidays, no matter what they were celebrating, and are off to a great start. It is pretty hard to believe that we were almost to the end of our second quarter, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through this session. I do have a handful of items I'll share and kind of give some general information about, but I also wanted to start off the session just to see if there are any parent questions in regard to where we're at right now as a school community, anything that parents need any additional information on. And I can kind of start there. If you don't want to unmute and kind of share verbally, you can also use our chat, and Miss Allison is monitoring that, and she will be happy to kind of share that information with me, and will answer any questions you may have. I don't see anything currently, but does anybody have anything they'd like to lift up on the front end? Okay. All right, well, if that changes or if something pops up via our conversations, please don't hesitate to reach out, again, either through the chat or by unmuting. Right now, we only have 9 parents in the room, but we will be happy to answer any questions you have. We also are recording this, so we will post it on Parent Square for our families shortly after this session. So we're going to start off with some staffing changes. We do have some different staff that are going to be coming on board for the remainder of this school year. Unfortunately, if you are a 5th grade parent, you are already aware of this, that Miss Boone decided to leave us right at the holiday break. We were very sad to see that happen. But we were also very lucky at the same time. We honestly didn't feel like we were going to be able to find a certified teacher at this time of the year, but we were able to do that. So Miss Ann Tillman has started as of yesterday in our 5th grade classroom. We're super excited to have a teacher with experience, especially with experience in literacy, which will be the majority of what she is teaching. So she is on board. So if you have any questions as a 5th grade parent and you had Miss Boone previously, Miss Tillman does have a CMS email address, and she has started with our students. So we are excited to have her on the team for the remainder of this school year. So also we have a new teacher assistant that is going to be in addition to our school staff based on our school numbers. Miss Rice will be joining our kindergarten team as an assistant. Right now, our kindergarten classes are our largest class sizes. So Miss Rice will be joining that team. In the short term, she will be helping support the schedule that Miss Mendez Brown, one of our other assistants, had, who's now going out on maternity leave. She is having her baby this morning. So Miss Rice will be taking that position over, hopefully very, very soon, to give some extra support. But when Miss Mendez Brown returns, we will have 2 teacher assistants in kindergarten for the remainder of the school year. So we are excited about that. Also, one of our retired staff, Miss Brenda Swing, will be joining us for a short period of time while one of our other staff members is out on maternity leave, and she will also be working with all grade levels, kindergarten through 5th, for about an hour a day, 3 days a week in each grade. And she will be working with teachers to pull small groups as well. So we do have a few additional staff members that will be coming on board to help support us down the stretch as we get ready to make sure our students are prepared for the end of the year and next school year. Any questions about staffing?
There's not any questions about staffing, but I know there is a question, and I know that we just got our school report this weekend, and I know we hadn't talked about it as an admin. I don't know how much, you've had time to reflect on it, but there was a question about how do we plan to address the shortfalls and where do the class sizes come from? Because this parent's kids class has more than 20 kids in them.
Yeah, so in the state of North Carolina, the max class size is 21 in a class. So if a class has 20 students in it, it's actually within the required limits of the state of North Carolina. We actually have 2 classes right now that are at 22. So our kindergarten is the largest grade level. The way that works is every single year we receive projections from the school district. We base the amount of teachers that we get in those grade level based on those projections. What happens though is throughout the year, parents move into the community and continue to fill those slots. Sometimes it's in kindergarten, sometimes it's in first grade, sometimes it's in 4th grade, 5th grade. It really just depends on the year. This year, it seems like the majority of the students that have enrolled in our school during the year have been kindergartners. So you have to continue to be able to take those students in. And after the 20th day, the district will not give you additional staff. So you kind of have to do with what you have. That's why we have the additional staff members. So every grade level has a different state mandated max number that you're supposed to reach. So this year it's kindergarten that we're over in a few classes. A few years ago, we had 26 in a class in first grade. And it's just one of those things that we kind of have to deal with. Once a student gets in 4th and 5th grade, there are no longer any class size limits at all. So though we keep our numbers right around 24, 25, because we feel like that's best for kids and teachers, they can be as large as 30, 35 kids in a class once you get into 4th and 5th grade and into middle school. So that's just one of those things that we plan for based on what our projections are. And if those projections are incorrect, we kind of have to scramble or try to support it in different ways. But that's a good question. And hopefully I answered that question. If you do have additional follow-ups, though, just reach out to me and I'll be happy to try to answer anything we possibly can. Right now, for the parents that aren't in kindergarten, we have 4 teachers in kindergarten. And like I said, I think we have 21 or 22 in every class. We just had one student unenroll this morning because their international student is only going to be here for a short time. So one of our classes just dropped a student size, but we have students coming in from all over the country on a daily basis. When we started off the new year, I think we had 3 or 4 registrations that first week we returned. So it's just one of those things when you have neighborhood schools, we have to accept everybody in no matter the time of year. But please feel free to reach out if you have additional questions. And that is why we are pushing more teacher assistant support to kind of help in those areas as well. Is there any other questions, Ms. Allison?
For the school report, can we plan to address that later on when we've had time to discuss, to reflect on that, or would you like to?
What's the question about the school report card?
Can you address the report that came out recently, which was this weekend, and what are the plans to address the shortfalls?
Yeah, so I have the school report card on the agenda for today, so I'll just go ahead and jump into it. Any parent that's interested in visiting and looking at Grand Oaks data or actually comparing Grand Oaks data to any school, you can go to NC Reports, all one word. So it's ncreports.ondemand, one word again, .sas.com. That will take you to the state of North Carolina report card site. And then you just type in Grand Oak and you can pull up all of our data. We were considered a B with an 84% performance grade. Just for kind of knowledge of the families that are new to the North Carolina report card, because we haven't had it since 2019, pre-COVID, an 85 is considered an A. So we missed an A by 1 point, but we were high growth in both math and reading. So we exceeded growth, which means we exceeded more than a year's worth of growth for our student populations in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade in all areas. So our teachers did a fantastic job in that regard. Some of the other things that I can say is that we still do, you can look at subgroup data in that as well. Though all of our students showed high growth, we still have academic gaps. So there are still gaps of around 20 points between some of our subgroups, which is not considered acceptable in my mind. So we continue to kind of work on that. We're also focusing in on 2nd and 3rd graders with extended tutoring that we're going to be sending some information out to families as well for students that are struggling to try to help prepare them for 3rd grade. But overall, our data was very, very good as a school, and we're actually very proud of where we're at. I don't know specifically what the questions are that a parent may have, but I'll be happy to answer any of those if they want to call me and kind of get into specifics. But if you look at the data, you can kind of break it down into all of our subgroups. You can look at how many students were considered proficient. That means they were a level 3, 4, or 5 on the EOG test, or college and career ready, which means are they a 4 or 5? You can also see what our economically disadvantaged population is. You can see how our Hispanic population did, how our African American, how our Asian, how our white, all of those different subgroups. You can see specifically how they performed in each area, even academically gifted and exceptional children. So you can kind of see how all those groups of students perform. If you're having a problem navigating it, I can definitely walk a parent through that. If you want to call me, we can both pull it up, and I'd be happy to spend some time kind of walking you through that information. But we were very, very pleased that we actually jumped back up to where we were prior to COVID in all of our academic areas. So we were very excited about that. We were in 84 in 2019, COVID hit, and then we were able to work our way back up to that 84 in 2022. But we will continue to work on those subgroups as our main focus. It's in our school improvement plan as well. And we have really kind of honed in on making sure that we're trying to get extra professional development. We have seen an increase in our multi-language learners, which is English as a second language. So we have students from all over the world in our school now. That is new for a lot of our staff members. So Miss Allison has coordinated having people from that department come in and teach our teachers some strategies of how to best work with those students. And really the strategies can be used with any child that may be struggling. But there's a lot of different information. We've had staff members come in and visit classrooms and kind of share expertise on how to best serve those students that don't speak English. Because if you don't know, in our district, we only have a multi-language learner teacher here at Grand Oak 2 days a week. And obviously these students have support needs every single day. So we try to do that when we can. The district makes the decision on how long you have that support person, and it's based on our total number of students. But we have students coming in from the Ukraine, Czechoslovakia, Brazil, really all over the world. And it's becoming more and more normal to have non-English speakers coming in. They do a great job once they get here, but it is a challenge to get them up and running from that regard. So we will continue to kind of work on all those areas to improve. Was there anything else in there, Miss Allison?
No, that was all. Thank you.
Also, a reminder about enrolling kindergartners. So if you know anyone in your neighborhood that has a rising kindergartner, now is the time to get them registered. They can go to the Grand Oak website to start the enrollment process, or they can go to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools website to get to through that process as well. But we want to make sure that if you know anyone that is enrolling for kindergarten, now is the time to do that. That helps us when we try to look at our projections and the number of students that we have in a specific grade level. So please spread the word. Get potential families to join our Facebook page so they can get that key information when it comes out, but registration is now open for that. Also, I want to kind of reiterate a post that I put up a few different times now, post New Year, is really about reading. Our teachers are seeing a lot of our students that are not doing reading at home or even having books with them here at school. And that is something that we need our parents to support us with. Every child, no matter the grade level, should be reading with a parent or reading independently for at least 20 minutes a day. There is so much research out there that the more students are reading and getting asked questions or just reading for fun and enjoyment, the better they're going to be academically in the classroom and the more successful they're going to be. So please make sure you have a committed time every night to work on that homework, that we have, the review skills, but also to get that independent reading. And I understand that not every child loves to read, but we still need to make an effort to get a child to read every single day. Find a series that they enjoy, find graphic comic books that's still reading, and we need to build that enjoyment in that reading. And I think we'll see dividends in the classroom. We also ask that every child has a book in their backpack every single day. So if I ask a child to pull out a book to read quietly at a certain time, they should quickly be able to go into their backpack and get a book. It could be a book from home, or it could be a book from our library, but we always want a student to have a book accessible to them in the classroom and throughout the building to make sure that they have that tool with them if we ever need it. Any questions about our expectations for reading nightly or homework? Okay, I will also add on that we continue to do our parent surveys every single week. Feedback in regard to homework still has been very, very strongly to the positive, which again kind of surprised me. I thought it would be more of a 50-50 split, but really I would say 9 out of 10 parents feel that the homework that's been coming home has been manageable and has also been very doable in regard to the flexibility teachers are giving. And also it's allowing parents to see some of the strategies students are using and able to help their children more academically. So we feel like that's a good thing, but we will continue to make those phone calls every single week. If this is the first meeting you've been in, just so you know, we will call right around 15 or 16 parents every week and ask them a series of 6 or 7 questions just to kind of get a temperature check on how parents feel the school year is going, how they feel their child's engagement is, if they have any questions in regard to our academic program at all. And then the most important question is there anything that we can do differently to make our school a better place to be? That is typically the last question we ask and the one that stumps people the most. So if you haven't received a call yet, that's the one to think about. You know, we use all this information to try to make our school a better place to be. So please think about what can we do to make your child and family's experience better at Grand Oak. So that's the big one. Other things just to kind of share to make sure parents are aware. We have been lucky to this point. We've had no inclement weather, but I am preparing just in case. We have not shared any information with teachers. So far, it's kind of at my level. If we do have an inclement weather situation, the district is preparing to go virtual in those experiences, but we will share more information with our families as we get closer to a potential event. We will do what we did earlier this year. We will send home charged devices. We will send home academic materials. And then if it's only a one-day event, it'll probably be asynchronous, or 1 or 2 days, it'll be asynchronous, meaning that the majority of the work the students do will be done independently. But if we have to be out for a longer period of time, for whatever the reason would be, we would go to a synchronous model. And that would be where teachers are working with the students more virtually on their devices. And then there's going to be some independent time, and then they'll come back and work virtually, more of a model like we did during COVID. So we are preparing for that in case there is a situation, though right now, weather is very mild. It's supposed to be 68 degrees tomorrow. So we'll have to see what February holds for us, but that may be a moot point, but we are preparing for that. Also, I've shared this on Parent Square as well, but we do have a mobile COVID unit on our campus that is open on Tuesdays and Thursdays for anyone in our school community. These are put out through Mecklenburg County, and we were chosen on this side of the county. This is not something we requested, but I did feel like it would be something that would benefit our families if they needed it. Students will not be able to go out to that mobile unit without an adult, but it is a drive-through. If a parent has a sick child and they want a quick test, this is an opportunity where they can do a quick drive up from 8:30 to 2:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays and get a test done. So this is just another opportunity. We have had a few cases of COVID in the last week. But at this point, everything has been very, very manageable. I will continue to send home mass emails to the entire homeroom class if there is a positive case. So you will be notified. Again, the district does not have that set as an expectation for us to do, but I'd like to be transparent and make sure our parents are aware of that. Also, if your child is not feeling well, it is still very important to keep them home until they are feeling better. We want to make sure that we're able to keep school in session and all of our students and staff healthy. So please continue to do that. But if you do have a concern on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you are welcome to come up to the drive-through mobile unit and they will test you. You have to be older than 18 if you're a child to come by yourself. And then lastly, just some key dates. We do have a CMS Teacher Workday coming up on January the 25th. That is a Wednesday, I believe, and that is a required teacher workday for professional development. There is no school that day. On the 26th, we're welcoming Bradley's Middle School's band and orchestra to come and perform for our 5th graders. So we're excited about that. And then that evening is a parent event at the school starting at 6 o'clock. And this will be sponsored by our school leadership team. It is about social media and will be led by the Huntersville Police Department. It will be at 6 o'clock in our media center, and all parents are welcome to that. We hope we will have a great turnout, and they will talk about some of the pitfalls of social media, just so our parents are aware if students already have phones, but also if parents are thinking about getting their child phones. I think this is really important information to know in regard to keeping your children safe. So that will be on January 26th at 6 p.m. Report cards will be going home on February 2nd. That will be the end of 2nd quarter, and we will be starting 3rd quarter. And then we also on February the 8th have a CMS early release day, which is a day that we get out at 12 o'clock. So parents will have to be prepared for that as well. These are all items that are on our Parent Square calendar that you can go back to refer to as well. We have an art event on February the 9th, starting at 5:30 and going till 7. It's going to be called the Heart Walk. It is our art walk for this year. We moved it up a little bit just because Miss Knight, our art teacher, will be going out on maternity leave. So this will be an event that will be going on. We'll be sending a flyer home soon, but that is on February the 9th. So we hope all of our families will come out to that. The majority of the activities will be in the hallways and in the gym in the cafeteria area, but it's just a great celebration of the arts at our school. So that's February 9th. And then another big parent meeting on February the 16th. This is about the comprehensive plan information that I've shared with parents in regard to budgetary items and the priority of new construction, building repair, and those kinds of things. The reason I feel like this meeting is important, and this is also a 6 o'clock meeting in our treehouse, is that this will tell you a little bit about the age-old question is Grand Oak or the Grand Oak feeder going to get a middle school, or are we going to get a high school in the near future? Those are opportunities where you'll be able to ask those questions and see how the district has prioritized some of those things with the land that is nearby us. So that will be on February 16th, and a district staff member will be here to kind of give a presentation and answer any questions you may have in that regard. So those are some big events coming up in the next 3 to 4 weeks. So I hope you'll be able to participate in those. I will send out reminders, but I wanted to kind of give the parents in the room heads up so they can begin to plan. With that being said, that's all that I have. Is there any other questions that parents in the room have? Are there any plans to replace the soccer goals? Yes, there actually are. Our PTA is working on that right now. We are trying to get a heavy duty soccer goal versus the ones we did have, because they were easily damaged by students on the weekends where they were hanging on the tops of the goals. But we do plan on getting new goals, hopefully before the year ends. But that is something that's on our radar. Good question. But with that being said, we also have our Sona Arch up. We are going to get training on that very soon. If you see an arch down on the lower playground, that is the interactive item that we purchased with support from our PTA and the Jimmy Johnson Foundation, that as students get near the device, it will talk to them and you can play collaborative games on it. We'll be able to change those games up regularly, but it is a great new activity that's on our lower playground. And we'll share more about that as we get trained in how to best use it, but our students are already enjoying it in the 3 or 4 days that it's already been there. I have posted some videos on our Facebook page so parents can begin to see that as well. Any other questions at all? All right, we're just coming up on 9 o'clock, right around 30 minutes for today. If you have any specific questions about the school report card after reviewing it, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I will be happy to kind of expound upon that and give you any more clarity in regard to how to attack certain things. But I hope you do take a chance and take a peek at it. It's some good information. Our teachers, again, we're super proud of their effort, especially in regard to the fact that they exceeded growth, which is one of the most important markers that we look at for our students. We hope everyone has a great remainder of their week, and we will see you next month. Have a great day, everyone.